All right. Welcome back, everyone. J Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, man. Big news that came out last night. Before I get into all the Lucha stuff, um, did some fellow podcast connecting last night and collabed with Trent from the Total Nonstop Impact podcast on their latest one. Would now later this week sometime. Um, Super excited to be on there with him, and so just want to say thank you, Trent, and Kyle. Kyle's the one that set it up. But thanks for contacting me, and yeah, hope we can do a lot more in the future. Well, that's an interesting name. So yeah, the news came out late last night. Just actually wrapping stuff up with Trent, and now the people are slowly starting to come out and talk about their releases. We're getting, press releases from them. What do you want to call them? Expressing their feelings. So here's the news. It originally was from Lucha Central, but I got this off of ProWrestlingSheet.com. Lucha Underground settles lawsuits with talent wrestlers allegedly released. Has to do with a lawsuit from Del Fantasma, Tejano Jr., East, Joey Ryan, and Cobra Moon. Now, later in the article, it says that Tejano dropped his loss. Guess he's staying with AAA, and so he's actually not part of the ones released, but originally part of the lawsuit. So I'll just read a portion of this. As says, as you may recall, B Productions and El Rey Network were hit with lawsuits involving, Phantasma, Tejano Jr., Evilise, Joey Ryan, and Cobra Moon. Lawsuits claim the wrestlers were being held to unfair contracts and made them lose money. The lawyer for these arrests released the following statement. I am honored to say we received 100% of the relief that we were suing to win, and 4 young talented wrestlers are no longer bound by an unfair contract that prohibits them from taking full advantage of their talents in the prime of their career. Phantasma will allegedly drop his separate lawsuit per terms of his agreement. Tejano apparently dropped his lawsuit prior to the settlement. He is not expected to the AAA. An official statement has yet to be released by Lucha. So, yeah. And this has been trickled through the news here and there throughout the last few months, since like the beginning of the year, I believe, is when people started talking about this. Evilise was one of the first ones to really publicly come out and be like, hey, if no one else is going to say anything, I'm going to say something. And they're unhappy. Jump in the chat here for a second. Do you see any of them going to Impact? If so, who? I think any of these could make, pardon the pun, an impact. Joey Ryan's got the match with Tessa next week at did we stand? I keep forgetting the name of that event. I keep thinking of, the other Impact events coming up. But this is a collaboration with a few different, you know, MLW people have some, AAA's got some, or Lucha Underground has some talent in there. Um, so happy for Evilise being free to choose any place she wants to wrestle for. Diehard Evilise fan. Yeah, me too. I like Evilise. Free from Lucha Underground. The worst was, well, the show was amazing. Okay. Contracts aside from everything, those 4 seasons, I know there were some mixed emotions about the last season, season 4. Um, let's be honest. If there was no Lucha Underground, we wouldn't know pretty much likes of Pentagon Jr. We wouldn't know who Phoenix was. Wouldn't know pretty much who Tejano was. We wouldn't know who Killer Cross is. Well, I mean, it's funny because he actually debuted on Impact before he debuted on on Lucha Underground. I think is how it went. But nonetheless, he was signed, what, 3 years ago, something like that. And then it just took him forever to get the 4th season going and his, part of the show. So many talents that we have in Impact and across the indies that are just absolutely on fire now. Shane Strickland. Killshot was my introduction to Shane Strickland. So many of the Evilise, Cobra Moon, Sexy Star when people liked her, not denying her talent. I know there was controversial things that happened, and unfortunately, but she still had some phenomenal moments in the first couple seasons. Brian Cage, such a huge part. Where would Johnny Mundo be right now? His return to wrestling was this show, and I think was a big drawing point. I've always been a big fan of his. He was amazing on the show. Ricochet, he's on WWE TV all the time now. Crazy. Taya, yeah, the list goes on. And there's even more that were on there that I would like to see more of, like Angelico. He's over in Europe. I would like to see him back in the States, but hey, he's happy doing whatever he's doing. What's going to happen with Lucha Underground now? I don't know. It's in limbo. They've lost a significant part of their roster now that has been publicly released, like we saw today, or ones that have quietly disappeared, like Jeff Cobb's character was killed on the show. So they started showing up in Ring of Honor. I believe he's officially signed with them. I never saw an official thing, but I'm pretty sure he's, others like Mil Muertes, free agent to go wherever. The show is, if and when the show comes back, it's going to be damn hard to do anything with. At this point, I honestly could get I just heard an interview from Krista Joseph and Roach the Laxman uh, on his YouTube channel, and Christopher Joseph said something like, "Who's who's the guy that runs the temple? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Look at it. We don't see these characters for a couple of years, and I'm blank. Queto. Queto's Christmas special or something like that. that's hilarious. And then have like a handful of matches over the course of a couple hours, and just wrap up a couple storylines. Um, blow up the temple. I don't know. Just something to like wrap up the story. Anything. Um, it sucks that those guys were stuck in that kind of contract. So many people throughout the last several years were like, "What kind of wrestling company is this?" Blah 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 blah. And that's the thing. So many people don't think of it as It's a Hollywood show. It's a Hollywood show. With wrestling on it. But why they made these contracts like that, I don't know. I know there were guys tied to AAA that were part of the whole contract making. At least I think they were. Don't quote me on that, but I if that's a thing, I don't know. But so will we see Lucha Impact? Well, what's funny is, we've got this thing with Part We Stand, where we've got Impact versus Lucha Underground, and now Johnny Impact public thing today expressing that he's not going to be a part of that match. He's inserting himself into the Ultimate X match, which apparently is for the number one contendership for Rich One's X Division champion. So I don't know if that's going to fill in that empty spot that we've seen poster for that with the 5 or 6 other guys, or if they're still going to do a surprise in there. I was still, as long as it's as many other people wanted this, I think, was Pac to be a part of the that match, to be the final surprise. But announcement came out a few days ago. WrestleCon made the announcement saying they could not get him lined for it. He could not get a travel visa for WrestleCon. AEW is still advertising him for the May day. So apparently that's all done, set, whatever. But they couldn't make WrestleCon happen, unfortunately. So a few shows that he was supposed to be a part of, they're now finding replacements for. So I don't know, that throws the mystery out of that. I don't know if they're still going to insert someone else into that. I am. So Anthony Phillips Lucha Underground contracts just hold talent like hostage. Lucha Underground need to come up with new contracts that will allow their talent to be free to go anywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's a Hollywood, it's not another wrestling promotion. I can understand you can go to except for WWE. I can understand that because WWE, their contracts are very unique. And hey, if you're with us, you're with us. We don't want you moonlighting anywhere else or doing anything else, except for if it's you're going to star in one of our movies or something like that. At the same time. Oh yeah, yeah, Johnny Impact. That. Um, so that's very actually very interesting that he said that. I mean, that sets him up for even bigger heel run in the company, which is oddly, eerily similar to what he did in AAA with in Killer Cross. Did Taya Valkyrie went? Oh yeah, yeah. She's supporting him through all this. Yes. Yeah. She's sassy heel. Um, so and even though all these talents that were released from their contract, it doesn't mean that if you bring back Lucha Underground season 5 or a wrap up special or whatever may happen to the show Lucha Underground, it doesn't mean they won't go back to wrap up storylines. They're just not tied down to their original contract. So if they do something else with the company, have a match, have a storyline, a thing, whatever, if it happens, they can go in with a lawyer, sign a new contract that says, okay, I'm going to be a part of this thing for this weekend to this show. And then once I'm done with this, I'm free and clear, you know, and the whole, thing, to air this with my presence on the show, all that kind of crazy stuff that goes on. Um, but I'm just happy that these guys got what they want. Um, so yeah, we still don't know much. If you guys want to hear something else really cool, Matt's Masks and Mayhem podcast just did an interview with Phantasma on his being released from. He's actually a complete free agent, not just Lucha Underground. He just cut ties with AAA as well. So a lot of different opinions floating around, like where's he gonna go? He's completely free. Is he going to? People are, oh, WWE's interested in him. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in him. Number one, tremendous wrestler, phenomenal. No one does the tope like Phantasma. That's where I became such a big fan of his when he was doing the King Queering in the temple, and he was, he'd draw back and he'd start running around the ring and just plow through God knows how many people like lightning. It's insane. No one doesn't like him. um, so yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him in a number of places. If his goal someday is to go to the WWE, hey, then he can go to the WWE and he can form a faction with uh, Andrade and Ray and and no, not become the Mexicools. Oh, slightly controversial there. But yeah, Evilise, she's killing it in all the women's companies, Shimmer and all that stuff. I think they got a um, something lined up this weekend. I heard about. She's got a feud with Mercedes Martinez or something like. A tremendous Latino talent. Um, but yeah, I've heard these little things. Oh, Evalise's attitude problems. Um, I'm sure if she got invited someplace, she could work out whatever issues she had with whoever. I mean, that's something that not everybody gets along with everybody, and that's fine. Everyone likes just certain people that they work with. That's the business, you know. We as fans just sit back and just watch. You know, we don't have to worry about who and who's besties with who and whatever. Don't have to care about that. So maybe that's why she hasn't been brought places like Impact Wrestling, because I thought read something like she had a beef with Tessa. Um, if they can squash it or whatever, you know, because people have gone on to work at Impact Wrestling. There's no reason any of these talents can't go there now. Cobra Moon, she has been working with Ring of Honor, but she said in a interview I just listened to today, she's still a free agent. She's doing like date by date things. She's not locked into a contract with Ring of Honor. Women of Honor, you know what I mean. No, I'd love to see the Holly Deads, because Thunder Rosa and Holly Dead usually tag together. Sometimes they face off. Um, no, what's their? Can't think of what they're called together. Holly Dead, but nonetheless, Thunder Rosa in Impact Wrestling would be a tremendous talent to be brought in there as well. Um, should Impact buy the rights to use Lucha Underground's name? No, I don't think so. I mean, that'd be something between, Anthem and the other entertainment higher ups own the Lucha Underground stuff. Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't see it happening, but I mean, they have a working relationship with AAA, which is why they do what they do. They've got this United We Stand event, and they got the two teams going against each other. They're probably not selling anything with the name on it or making money off of the name itself, which is why, I'm sure there's legal reasons why they can do all that, you know. um, Joey Ryan, Joey has had, you know, uh, past Impact Wrestling or TNA, and it's a completely different company now than it was back then. You know, compared to the gut check days, that thing that just failed miserably, unfortunately. Um, a lot of people assume Joey's just going to just slide right into AEW, but you know, now that he's free, we can't assume anything because there were no options. Now he's got options. Let's see who calls him. I mean, I think it'd be a very select few people that would want to use him because he is controversial. He does use the penis gimmick, you know. Um, yeah, hell, he's got his own penis party WrestleMania weekend. Um, and no, that doesn't mean AEW is going to show up at his party. Cody's come out publicly. Cody Rhodes has come out. We will not do anything or any events WrestleMania weekend. That's their weekend, and that's, you got to respect that. I think a lot of people assume that they would just set up shop someplace and quick put a show on. No, because that's just going to even more feathers. Cody said, we don't want to compete. We just want an alternative, which there's nothing wrong with that. And not everybody's a fan of Joey. I had Andre on here for the Impact Wrestling. Ooh, I just did. He's very into the pure aspect of wrestling, keeping it pure and not throwing in a lot of like nasty stuff. Not to sound like good, just he's tied to the Hart Legacy company, up does stuff with them. So he's got a lot of pride in where certain families and certain traditions come from. Okay. And he doesn't want to pollute it with a lot of outside crazy nasty stuff. So, and that's nothing wrong with that. To each their own. If Joey wants to go to AEW and hone it and come out with the druids, I mean fluids, I mean what? Like you did it All In. That was a very adult crowd. If they're going to provide a family entertainment, I don't see stuff like that happening all the time. I'm sure he could do some of it to a degree, because if they're going for a TV deal, or there's one already in place and they just can't say, which is what I'm starting to feel. Because if you watched anything from their convention stuff from Chicago, it certainly sounds like something is they just can't say anything. So whatever, but want to jeopardize that. So if they do bring in Joey, he's probably got to behave himself a little. He can character and be a little sleazy and do the the oil, but I don't think they could go much further than that. I don't think you could do the lollipop in the trunks and, to quote Matt Stryker, oh my God, is that a hair? It's, there's certain lines to be on primetime TV. I'm sure there's certain lines that they're not going to want to cross, or maybe they will. They will be allowed to put out an edgier product, and it will be aimed at the young, as opposed to, it's woo. Styles is in the chat. What is up, brother? we talking about some Lucha Underground and contracts and people not with them anymore. Interesting. Um, just got home from physical therapy a little bit ago. Dude, proud of you for doing that. I know that's not easy for you to do, but I'm proud of you for doing that. That's awesome. And I hope that you continue to your health continues to improve physically bit by bit. I know there's only so much you can do, but just to get stronger, I think that's tremendous, brother. Um, I I got to do the same. I got uh, a few pounds to lose myself, so gotta start doing my push-ups. But yeah, it's the future's wide open for these four now. Tejano wants to stay on because he's a regular performer, which doesn't want to ruffle any feathers. Um, I'm sure we'd see him back if Lucha Underground comes back. Like I said, I'm sure a lot of these talents come back to Lucha Underground because I'm sure there's a lot of contracts still. Phoenix and Pentagon are in contracts for another year or two, whatever it is. I've heard a couple. I don't know what's what, but I know they still are. But they're going. Once a TV deal happens with AEW, I don't know what that's going to mean for them. Are they going to be? Can they get exclusive? I don't know. I don't know. But nonetheless, like I said, these four: Evilise, Cobra Moon, Joey Ryan, and Phantasma, um, being clear. And and it's been such a crazy ass year. Oh, so and so got signed. Oh, so and so got let go. We're seeing stuff multiple times a week now, and it's just a wild year. Um, Rumors of this, confirmations of that, contract this, that, and this. It's only it's only March, so I know we're gonna see a lot of people showing up or leaving other places. Um, hey, we're a couple away from probably a handful of people walking out of the WWE. They'll go next. Who knows? Um, if the Usos leave, Ambrose, he's already got one foot out. Well, as of last night, one foot in the grave, thanks to McIntyre. But that's what happens when you're leaving. They're not going to put you over at all. It's what it is. I'm just sitting here, just waiting to see what he does. So, um, to sound like the Wrestle Talk guys, Dean Ambrose to AEW confirmed. I love those guys. Too damn funny. So yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to talk about it a little. You can go to their social media pages to see what I won't read all their whatever. Cobra Moon, aka Thunder Rosa, put a very nice one up on social media, and they're thanking Lucha Underground for the opportunities they had. It is a great show, or was a great show. Say it. It's a great product. It's just the behind the scenes stuff that didn't fly with a lot of over the course of the last few years, and it is what it is. Will we see again? No clue. Um, I know the Lucha Underground champ, Jake Hagar, aka Swagger, is tired of waiting. You know, he's an ambitious guy. He wants to stay. He's doing MMA stuff along with other wrestling things, going back and forth. But I don't think he's waiting. And he's also not tied down to any contracts. No, his wife. He said his wife is a very good lawyer. If anyone has any entertainment contract issues that they're stuck in, goes there. You go. Cheap plug. besides besides whoever represented I was talking about through all this. So yeah, we'll wrap this up. Might something later tonight after smack it down and talk about the updated WrestleMania card. Not necessarily review the show because these shows leading up to WrestleMania have been eh, not much to talk about. But I'm still very curious to see where it's going. We got some new matches that came through as of the last week or so, few days, whatever. So we may come on here later tonight and talk about that. But yeah, just did recently some stuff caught up with Impact Wrestling. Go check out that one. That one was a very long way. I'm apologizing for it. Andre and I went 2.5 hours. I never go that long. We just rambled about a whole lot of stuff. It was CD as its finest. But we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. So that's up on the video as well. Just did some MLW stuff. Did a review for The Dirt Netflix. If you want to check out, so got some other new stuff on there as well. Thanks again for tuning. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of content hits your screen. We'll see you later. Have a wonderful rest of your day.